What had just happened was the acquittal of Asian American convenience store owner Rick Chow. He was charged in the shooting of and the death of 14-year-old Cyrus Carmack Belton in 2023. A jury found Chow not guilty, and many people in the black community saw it as another example of unequal justice. So calls for boycotts of Asian-owned businesses began circulating online afterwards, all the way to the point where now there's a whole thing where even like apparently in this stupid race war situation, it's going so far that even like members of the black community are like calling Chinese-owned restaurants, putting down like seriously large orders and then not picking up the food just so that they're just like, yeah.
What's the unequal justice part of it? It's like the kid was innocent or something. They killed the innocent kid.
So it's not so much that, it's more so the issue that like well, one, of course it's racial, right? It's a 14-year-old black kid. He did go into a convenience store. There was something about stealing water, and so as he was running away, he was like shot in the back by the older Asian business
That
store
happened
owner.
here, like in LA in the 90s, right around like the tense time with Rodney King, or right before that. There was I think it was a Korean liquor store owner, and then like some kids were like stealing some shit, and then he got pissed and he shot him. I don't know the exact details, but that's the general idea. I might like have some specifics wrong, but it's very similar to that.
Just depending on which side you're maybe like gonna show a bias towards, because you could take the variables of the story, the same story, and just like depending on where your emotional bias,
Or even depending on the state.
yeah.
Because some states, it's like if you just commit a crime, they can kill you.
Yeah.
But then you know,
Like Texas.
So this is South Carolina, but like in this one, it's like the argue against maybe is like, dude, it was stealing water, and then he was running away because he was young and he's scared. He's 14. Like if somebody's chasing you, then like whether or not you run doesn't necessarily mean you're guilty. You're just like caught up in that moment. You're scared. You don't know what's going on.
yeah, it's just
But then
impulse.
the other argument is like, well, that kid also had a gun. What was he doing stealing at a liquor store and like also showing that he had a weapon and became a threat, apparently?
Did he point the gun at the K?
I think he like showed it,
A handgun.
a handgun or something like that. Yeah.
You gotta be a certain age to own a
Because
handgun.
if you show you have lethal threat, just from legal, I'm not talking about racial or anything, but if you have a like lethal threat that you brandish, I think a lot of states, it's like then you can return with lethal force.
hmm
I bet in South Carolina it's a pretty good bet.
It's pretty crazy.
But I do think though the stupidest shit about all of this is like, what the fuck does a Chinese restaurant in Seattle got to do with any of this shit?
Exactly.
Yeah, and that's what happens when it becomes a race war, right? It's like you take one person as a reflection of an entire ethnic group, one instance, and you're just like, oh, this Asian man shot this boy, therefore all Asian restaurant owners should go down.
But America's so like geographically and ethnically like challenged. So remember when 9/11 happened?
Mhm.
Except for Anthony.
Yeah.
When it happened, people were really mad at like they had Islamophobia.
Any brown person.
Bro, in San Gabriel, a Sikh man got shot up because somebody was so angry at Muslims. They don't, because America don't know the difference. They're like,
yeah.
they call them they call them ragheads, right? They call them like, that's not me saying it, but that's what people like, the racist folks, they'll just be like, yeah, fuck it. Like, it is what it is. And that's the stupidity of this whole situation, because they're like, oh, now they got to attack the whole Asian community. Like, we're not the fucking same at all.
Yeah.
So it's like a lot of the times what's hypocritical too is the same people that don't want to be treated racist, they treat others racist. Like, I don't get it, man. That is the stupidest shit ever.
This whole thing is stupid.
Yeah, it's fucking dumb.
Why is it escalating into in more of a crazier issue?
Because it's uniquely our issue. It's an American issue. That's all.
What's like the American lens, right?
Because like, for example, I was just in Korea, right? And again, people were interviewing me. We're doing this thing about some dance stuff, and then like, they're curious and they're asking me about like the cultural issues that like Americans specifically face with like hip hop and like doing blah blah blah, because nowhere else in the world faces it. Nobody else in the world, like you go to Korea or something, like you go to Japan, everybody who just like loves hip hop, right? They just they're one nation, they're one people. If they like something, if they're training it, it's not a trying to steal it and earn off of it and like take away from some other marginalized community within the. They're all one people.
Yeah.
In a sense, so they don't have those conflicts. So then everybody around the world knows that it's a uniquely American trait to have racism be some other form of like a reason to a variable everybody else experience. Robbery, death, murder, this. Everybody has it in every country. Ours, for some reason, has this extra thing about race that's attached to everything.
Because it gets attention.
Yeah, we have like this random like fifth department. Like everybody else has like treasury, or you have human resources. Everyone has all that, and then we have this random race department that it has to go through too.
But it's like the leading department.
That's true. Because when we travel, they don't look. They look at us as Americans. They don't look at us as Asian Americans. They don't look whenever I go to UK, Asia, whatever, they're like, oh, look at those bunch of fucking loud, obnoxious Americans. They don't care if you're black, Asian, or whatever. It's only when we're at home when that matters.
Yeah.
But I think it's actually like a divide and conquer tactic, and it's always been a divide and conquer tactic. Like if you look at how even within Europeans, you got the Anglos and the other. You know, like Italians, Jews, Irish weren't actually white, or they weren't white enough. And then now they're part of the club, right? And so like they're constantly creating different tribes and groups. And then we'll have new like categories in the future too. But I don't think it's ever going to end. Because if you think about even politics, like you're a race traitor if you're not a Democrat and if you're a person of color. It goes beyond just choosing.
But they call you that
party.
if you're a Democrat. Democrats are yelling that at them like you're a race traitor.
Yeah. But it's like a tribalistic like propaganda. It's like a strategy.
Yeah.
Where it's like we need loyalty and like we need to create it where it's like unquestionable. Like now it's a you have bad character if you leave this family.
You're voting against yourself.
It's just so weird how fucking far it could potentially get, because like now, whatever it is, consider a freak accident of circumstance and a just a terrible concoction of timing, or call it like a psyop, and let's go fucking full ballistic with this, right? Whatever it is, it's fully successful, because if you got like the black community and the Asian community, and there's like social media clips of this guy who just went viral that you sent me about that dude going out there and being like, all right, test it. We don't need black communities coming to our businesses, and then vice versa. Now you got people in the comments going like, we don't need them coming in. Like, I'm not going to go get my nails done at their nail salon. And then it's the most basic pet, even to argue about saying I'm not going to support Asian nail salons anymore because somebody was acquitted in a different state for shooting a black kid.
Good luck getting your nails did.
It's crazy though, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, the crazy part to me is like, why are people zooming out so much? You know, like it's the child versus the other guy's issue. Like that's why things need to happen in a courtroom. But then you start zooming out so fucking much, you lose touch with reality. And now you're making decisions that affect your other community. And like even with like George Floyd stuff, right? Like my neighbor was a police officer, is LA sheriffs. And he was like, it's just crazy. They spent the last 2 decades really bettering relations with the black community and the brown community, but all it takes is one thing that happens in Minnesota to to fuck everything up.
Well, because you get so many bonus points. Like, look at my favorite example is the mayor of Minnesota. His name's Jacob Frey, I believe. Yeah. And I remember George Floyd's casket is like there, and he is there in a COVID mask, and he's like crying his eyes out as if like his mom died, and it's so performative. But he's like, it's almost like 25 points, bonus, like in his head the whole time. Yeah. Like that's what's going on. And like they're filming it purposefully. And like, so it really works. And like he was able to use that to like keep power.
So he was crying not for him, for Floyd, but
for him.
And
cheers of joy. Cheers of joy.
For his political career.
That's so
it's craven.
Can you imagine if you own a Kumon and all of a sudden your black students aren't there anymore and you're like, what happened? And they're like, well, let me tell you, a fucking Chinaman just shot this other dude. And I'm like, I'm Korean. Like, what the fuck does that? You know how stupid that is? That's like if a Russian dude did some shit and now we're boycotting Irish. And then it's like, that's because your stupid ass don't know the difference between white people. Like, that's the same shit. I don't get it. Because, like, boycotting makes sense when it's, like, institutional. Like for example, during segregation, right? It's like, why should I spend my money if you're not going to treat me with the same level of fucking customer service, but I'm spending the same dollars. That makes sense.
Yeah, the successful Target DEI boycotting and stuff like that. That was organized more recently, but that was a lot more institutional, and like that's trying to, at the end of the day, put together in policy for a huge American corporation, which becomes like a ripple chain of events that like shows precedent over. I get that, but when like a Chinese restaurant owner suddenly gets like a $200-300 bill order and somebody doesn't pick up, all that does to them later on is go, I don't want to serve these people again. And then it just continues to push this negative momentum. And it's like, dude, that's not how it's gonna work.
It's like, we're gonna get them back. Wait, by fucking harassing an innocent person that might not even be racist. Like, he's just a dude making fried rice. It is like, that's the stupidest shit I've ever heard.
It always goes back to, let me make my neighbor my enemy so I don't see who the real enemy is at the top.
And that's where the PSYOP thing is like, I feel like it's a divide and conquer tactic.
Versus if you zoom in, look how many interracial friends there are. And then now you're making them pick a side, because it almost seems like, hey, we got to zoom out and pick on this and look at this issue. Versus like, there's so many people that are interracial and they're like really, really good friends. And they don't even have these issues that people bring up.
But I think it's because so in the UK everyone's divided by class, right? And then they're like, you guys don't even talk about that shit out here, and it's because they got us divided by race. So it's like, oh fuck,
Yeah, we're fucked.
yeah.
Well, also too, man, it's not like the other side. Like, let's talk about the right for a second, like the hardcore right. They talk about how we should all be a homogenized white society and have different fucking barriers, right?
Yeah.
A black community should be a black community. A white community
They
should be
want
away from them.
segregation.
They want
Yeah.
that shit. And like, that's fucking crazy too.
Yeah.
So like you said, we're kind of fucked a little bit. Like on both sides. It's just,
Where's the sensible middle that's
Man.
like, that's retarded and that's retarded?
I'm begging for it.
Yeah.
That's what Asians are. We're the sensible middle. We're retarded on both sides.
No,
There's
but you
some
guys-
fucking dumbass Asians getting drawn into.
We're the worst of the white side. We're the worst of the black side, and then we call both retarded at the same time. That's what we're in the middle.
Well, how to 2016 where everything was just chill.
That's what I'm talking about, dude.
You
You know, that's what everyone's talking about these days.
2016,
There's
dude.
like, let's take it back.
That's what I'm talking about.
Take it back.
Fucking Red Food, you know what I mean? Like stuff like that. Like the music was all different. Skrillex. Like what happened to all of that?
We need more dubstep.
Look, we need more white ladies. We need more white liberal.
Didn't they
ladies.
create this?
Yeah, a little bit. What I like about you guys, though, as opposed to white ladies, the white ladies will talk in a paragraph for like a long time about like why all this shit's wrong, and Asian people just go, and that's it.
Because we're just like, y'all retarded. Like, why are you focused on this shit?
Yeah.
Pay your bills.